Today we're going back to the Old West with Django Freeman from Django Unchained taking on the Man with No Name from the Dollars trilogy. Who comes out on top? Well, let's find out.
Eyes up. Stay sharp. Stay down. Final warning. I could do this all day.
Django, sometimes referred to as Django Freeman, is Broomhilda's husband and a former slave who was freed by Dr. King Schultz, being the main protagonist of Django Unchained. Django was presumably born into slavery, taken from his family and his wife Broomhilda, was eventually purchased by Dr. King Schultz, who was subsequently freed in exchange for helping him hunt down the Brittle brothers. After successfully hunting down and killing the Brittle brothers, both Django and Schultz could now be seen as wanted men. So the duo retreated to the mountains and trained on using their guns. They also hunted outlaws in exchange for money. It was during this time where Django was nicknamed the fastest gun in the South. They eventually learned that Django's wife is being held at Candyland in the hands of Calvin Candy. And while entering the plantation where they'd freeing Broomhilda, both Schultz and Candy were shot and killed. In the ensuing chaos, Django lets loose and kills 15-20 men while dual-wielding pistols, before finally being captured and sold back into slavery. However, Django quickly escaped from the Liquid Dickey Mining Company, killing 3 men in the process, and made his way back to Candyland. While there, he grabbed Broomhilda's freedom papers, killed Candy's remaining henchmen, blew up the Candyland mansion, and rode away with his wife to start their new life together. Django is an incredibly accurate and fast shot, with his go-to weapons being things like the Remington 1858 New Army and Remington 1858 Sheriffs, which he's able to dual-wield during the Candyland shootout. These are some seriously powerful guns too, blowing through men and leaving gaping holes behind, though this was also definitely Tarantino's artistic expression. The real-life guns aren't nearly that powerful. He's got a Derringer as a secondary weapon, attached to a Drider Slaw to allow for quick pistol drawing. He's used the Sharp's 1874 Buffalo rifle before for long range, being able to snipe Big Daddy off a horseback from an incredibly far distance. So that's what we got in one corner. The fastest gun in the South, Django. But, entering the ring, one of the most iconic characters in all of cinema, the Man with No Name. Sometimes he's known as Joe, sometimes as Manco, and other times he's even known as Blondie. However, no matter what moniker he goes by, he's one of the most iconic, coolest, and toughest cowboys in film history. Hailing from the Dollars trilogy of films, consisting of A Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, he is the symbol of the spaghetti western, the Man of No Name. Also, just for the sake of this fight, instead of calling him the Man of No Name every time, we're just going to call him Joe, Monco, or Blondie. It's just easier that way. Blondie is strong enough to lay both men and women out with just one punch. He's pummeled outlaws and sent people stumbling backwards with just a slap. He's actually able to straight up throw a machete through a man's chest. He's also durable enough to take a beating from the Rojos. He's able to get back up after taking multiple shots from a Winchester rifle, though he was wearing makeshift body armor at the time, and walked over 30 miles in the desert with no water before finally giving out. But where Joe really shines has got to be with his guns, just gunplay in general. He shot 4 men dead before any of them could shoot him. He's quickly killed a whole room full of men, and is even able to reload and fire his gun before his opponent could reload and fire his. He shot 3 men who already had the guns trained on him. Shot a man without even looking, and he's insanely accurate as well. Monco has shot a man's hat down the street, shot apples off a tree, and is even able to shoot a man out of a noose across a vast distance while riding on horseback. Blondie's also incredibly smart, an expert planner, both crafty and creative, and is very cool under pressure. He's manipulated an entire town before. He survived at ghost town hunts and shootouts during Civil War battles, and with Colonel Mortimer's help, fought off a gang of bandits. In short, the Man of No Name is one of the most iconic characters in Western history, and is easily the fastest and most accurate gun in the West. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, these are two of my absolute favorite Western characters. Honestly, some of my favorite Western and just movies in general. Seriously, if you haven't seen Django Unchained or the Dollars trilogy, do yourself a favor and go watch them. And I'm sure most of you have already seen Django, but you have to go watch the Dollars trilogy. Fistful of Dollars, $3 more, and Good, Bad, and the Ugly. If you're a fan of Westerns, or just a fan of movies, good movies in general, go watch them and come back and thank me later. Anyways, off that little rabbit trail and back to the fight. Who wins here? Well, this is by no means going to be a hand-to-hand fight. It's a gunfight all the way. These two are famous for their gunplay. It just wouldn't make sense to make them fight hand-to-hand here. Although, side note, if they did, Blondie would win. We've never really seen Django do much brawling, while Blondie has pretty much consistently will knock people out, or at least stagger them and send them stumbling backwards with a punch. Anyways, that's not going to happen. It's a gun showdown, so back to the fight. Now, there are two ways that I want to look at this. What would happen is a straight-up duel, Mexican standoff style, where they're standing apart from one another, fastest gun wins. What would happen if they were in a ghost town, just had a shootout? So, first up, old-fashioned duel. Now, here, the most important thing is being fast and being accurate. Other than that, nothing really matters. Now, Django never really participated in a good old-fashioned duel at dawn in the movie. So the closest that we really saw him with his quick draw speed would probably be during the snowman scene. There it takes him about a second to pull his revolver out of his holster and fire a shot. Maybe 3/4 a second if you're really being generous. On the other hand, Blondie is kind of famous for his speed. Maybe more than anything else, it's just how fast the guy can draw a gun. He's pulled his gun and killed 4 men before any of them could even pull their gun out, quickly killed a room full of men before any of them could even get a shot off, shot 3 men who already had their guns trained on him before they could shoot, and he's even been in situations like this before and come out on top, shooting Angel Eyes first. Blondie's also the more accurate one out of the two. Django's fairly accurate, but in big old shootouts, like the shootout during Candyland, he did miss shots. On the other hand, Joe rarely ever misses a shot. Even when he's got to clear a whole room of people, is turning on to shoot people and barely leaving any time to aim, or being able to shoot and kill people without looking. He's regularly able to shoot off hats, even when he sent a hat rolling down the street, they shot it several times, and he shot through a hangman's noose while he was on horseback, and he was a good ways off. End of the day, Blondie is the quicker draw, more accurate shot, and he's just been in situations like this before and knows how to handle it. Blondie's coming out on top in this first round. But what about round 2? Well, that's where things get more interesting, especially for Django. You see, one of the most iconic moments in Django Unchained, one of my personal favorites, is when he's trying to escape from Candyland and takes down 15-20 men all by himself. In fact, the only reason that he lost that fight wasn't because he was overwhelmed or the henchmen were better shots. It was just because he ran out of ammo. That's very impressive. And while Django might not have experience in straight-up duels, he's definitely got experience when it comes to shootouts. However, we've already established that Blondie is the quicker draw and the more accurate shot. So no matter how well Django has done against no-name henchmen, he's going up against one guy here, who is a better shot and a faster draw. And it really doesn't get better for Django from there. Look at their guns. Django uses the Remington 1858 New Army, Remington 1858 Sheriffs, while Joe uses the Colt 1851 Navy or the Single Action Army, depending on what movie you're talking about. Now, I know those just sound like words to people who aren't experts in guns in the 1800s, but what we need to know is this. Blondie has better guns and Django's are more primitive. For Django, he's got 12 shots, considering his 2 guns, and after that, that's it, he's done. It takes a long time, around 5 minutes, to reload those kinds of guns if you're quick. It's also very difficult to do in the middle of a fight. Honestly, it'd probably be better for Django to carry around 6 guns on him, like what you see James would do when he was a guerrilla soldier during the Civil War. On the other hand, Blondie's able to reload his guns like a normal Colt revolver. It'd probably take him less than 20 seconds to reload one of his guns, and he's even shown he's a faster reload than the average person. He will pick up and reload his gun before his opponent can pick up and reload his. We haven't even talked about Blondie's intelligence, the fact that he's an expert planner. He's both crafty and creative, and ridiculously cool under pressure, even though he's got a gun pointed right up to his face. He's manipulated an entire town before and come up with a makeshift body armor in order to successfully kill the 5 remaining gang members after the town had become a ghost town. He's actually survived ghost town hunts and shootouts before during the Civil War battles, and successfully defended a town from being raided by a gang of bandits, although he did have Colonel Mortimer's help. In short, I definitely wouldn't put it past Blondie going to a way to outsmart Django in order to win the fight. And so, another day here, the man of no name is coming out on top. There's a reason why he's arguably the most iconic character in the whole Western genre. He's a faster draw and a better shot. He's got better guns. He's smarter and more creative, and could even win in a hand-to-hand fight too. The man of no name wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to hit that like button, the subscribe button, and turn on notifications, join the FanCo army, and I will see you next time.